Hello Pisces, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be 11 relationships reading for the end of February 2023, looking at you and the person that you are currently needing to learn the most from right now. So we're looking at all three sides of this connection. We've got your energy toward the connection, their energy toward the connection, and this energy in between the connection here in the middle. The concept is that there are three sides to every story. So looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. I have the overall energy for the reading. We're using a different deck for every side of the connection. And then an advice card to pull at the end. I do encourage you to think outside the box when it comes to these readings. This might not just be romantic. It could very well be, but it might also be dealing with a friend, a family member, a coworker. It's anyone that you're connected to that you are currently needing to learn some sort of a lesson from. So, because every person put in our life is put here to teach us something. So let's dive in. All right, Pisces, on your side of the connection, you have believe in the impossible with nourishment. This nourishment card, I actually am reading because you have the overall energy for the reading is growth. So both of these cards signify growth for me. And it's almost like I'm reading using your growth to nourish this connection and ultimately yourself. Because this, you doubt quite a bit that what you want when it comes to love is possible. And there's a need here to, first and foremost, get to the bottom of why you don't believe that what you want in love is possible. But then also nourish yourself the same way that you tend to nourish the connections to the people that you care about. This person has confidence is your key to success with squaring the circle. I do want to mention that these energies can be swapped. So you can definitely resonate more with the energy over here than to my left. But with confidence is your key to success in squaring the circle, this person is like the squaring the circle card is a card of kind of like speaking of self-mastery. And it almost feels like this person also kind of struggles with confidence in relationships and might kind of have a tendency to sabotage them. To be honest with you, I feel like you have the same tendencies, Pisces. I feel like there's a little bit of mirroring going on here. Now, in between this connection, you have nothing is yet set in stone with boat. I don't read this nothing is yet set in stone as a negative energy whatsoever. I don't think this is saying that this connection isn't going to happen. But with the boat card, it's, this is about learning to go with the flow, especially in terms of our relationships. Because the more that we try to force things, the more we miss out on the moment. And the more that we start to let our fear and our potential for sabotage kind of take control. So this is learning to go with the flow of the connection and having trust, because the overall energy for this connection, I showed you the growth card, but it's also trust. Now it's interesting because this growth is number 15 in this deck, and then trust is number 16. So use your growth that you've learned as a stepping stone for how to trust. This is about you learning to trust. Now, if you have trust issues from your past and this is a new connection, then this might be talking about using the healing from, your past connections as the trust for this connection. If this is, this connection has caused you to have trust issues, then healing from this will help you grow and trust connections in the future, or potentially this connection coming back together. But let's dive in. Let's see what we have tarot-wise here. This is Pisces side of this connection to the person that they are dealing with. This is Pisces side of the connection, please. Pisces energy toward this connection. Pisces energy toward this connection, please. I feel like the ultimate, oh goodness, Pisces. Okay. You're very anxious about this connection here, dealing with a lot of anxiety about it. And directing a little bit too much focus to that anxiety, because this nourishment card, look at this. First of all, you have this Nine of Swords. I love the way that this Nine of Swords is depicted in this deck, because it kind of shows how the things that she's worried about aren't real. Now that doesn't mean they're not valid, and it doesn't mean you are not absolutely, valid in feeling the way you do. But remember, this whole reading is about trust here. Learning to trust learning to believe in what you deem feels impossible and what you have deemed impossible. So your focus, the Four of Cups in reverse, is, kind of focusing on the wrong things, directing your focus not toward what matters, but, maybe more toward what you feel. And this nourishment card, the way I'm seeing this is this need to give yourself the same love and affection and to energy and attention as you give this connection, because I feel like that will help you remove yourself from the anxiety about the connection and start to dive into why you have anxiety about the connection, because there's ultimately healing that needs to be done here. I feel like this is ultimately stemming from some sort of self-doubt. But let's see. This is Pisces side of this connection. I feel like you can trust them. I don't know why, I just have that. I have this feeling about this energy. Clarifying Pisces side of this connection, please. Yeah, you're dealing with a lot of triggers. And the best thing that you can do for yourself is learn not to believe your triggers. When you feel triggered, know that it's your trust issues being triggered here. Because with the High Priestess in reverse, this is you not listening to your intuition, it's listening to your fear. This is you having a tendency to listen more to your triggers than your fear, or than your intuition. Because it's almost like you have a lack of hope about this connection. Not that you, like I feel like you're very hopeful about it, but you lack the hope that things are going to work out because you have belief in the impossible. So you see this connection, or really, honestly, any connection coming together in a healthy way, and you ultimately getting the relationships that you deserve, as impossible. There's the King of Cups. This is about you kind of getting a handle on your emotions, I feel like. Which is so much easier said than done. Because if you're experiencing triggers, you're triggered because you've experienced trauma. So you fear the past repeating itself. That's where the triggers come from. But it's so important that you heal, because you don't want to bring your past situations into what I really feel is a healthy connection. I mean, we've only pulled 2 messages really, but yeah, I like this person's energy. Clarifying Pisces energy towards this connection, please. Oh my goodness, Pisces. You've been carrying this burden of not believing in what you deserve for a really long time. And ultimately not believing that what you want is what you deserve. Not believing that what you want out of some sort of a connection of this nature being possible. And ultimately, that's because you've experienced it, right? I kind of want to get clarity on this 4 of Wands in reverse. It's your mindset is going to be your strength in terms of this connection. Because I feel, clarifying the 4 of Wands in reverse, because you are not listening. You're not listening to the signs here. Because your intuition's trying to get you through these trigger moments. But you have a tendency to believe these triggers over your reality. And again, don't be hard on yourself for that, because the reason you do that is because you've experienced things that make you doubt yourself and ultimately the people who care about you. Yeah, but there's this energy. I want to clarify this Judgment in reverse. There's this energy of not seeing the truth of the situation. Clarifying the Judgment in reverse. You got to go within to figure that out, though, with the Hermit here. Because for the Pisces in this reading, I feel like there needs to be confirmation for you, and I can give it to you all day. Any tarot reader, you can watch a million tarot readings that gives you the confirmation of saying you're investing in the right things. But until you find that faith within yourself, you're never going to believe that. And you never want to rely on external validation to tell you that, right? You want to learn to find that faith in yourself so that you can have faith in other people. And that comes with healing, healing the reasons that you do struggle with trust. Though I feel like you've grown a lot. And I feel like that's why this is talking about using your growth to trust. Okay. This is Pisces side of this connection, please. Pisces side of this connection, please. You have to learn, see the Two of Swords and the Sun here. Happiness is a choice. That was actually one of the hardest aspects of my healing journey, was realizing that I had to actively choose happiness and peace over anxiety and emotional turmoil. You have to learn not to choose your anxiety about, I could apply that to not just this connection, but to anything. Your happiness is a choice. You have to choose it. So my boyfriend and I went to high school together. We didn't know each other in high school, but we did go to high school together. And our principal at the end of the morning announcements every day would say, make it a great day or not, the choice is yours. And so we'll say that to each other kind of as like a little bit like a joke, right? Like, haha, something we heard in high school every day. But I actually kind of like it because it does make me realize, like, okay, it is actively my choice as to whether or not this situation is going to go well. It is my choice about whether or not I'm going to have a healthy, relationship. It is always up to you. I mean, you could take it back to per law of attraction. What you focus on is what you attract more of. And if you focus on your fear, if you focus on your anxiety, if you choose to believe in that part of yourself, because it's always going to exist. You're never going to be at a point in your life where you are free of fear and you're free of ever experiencing anxiety. That's just not reality. But you have to choose not to believe in your anxiety. There's a book that's coming out that's kind of making me, oh my gosh, there's a book that's coming to my mind that I feel like is relates to this reading, and it's called Insecure in Love. And it talks about anxious attachment and where anxious attachment comes from. And I feel like that book could really help those of you who are struggling with that, even if this isn't a romantic connection, just in general, because it can help you understand where your attachment style comes from and what you might need to direct your focus on in order to heal that attachment style. And create some sort of a secure attachment. Because I do feel like there is a bit of an anxious attachment to this connection, which is common, especially when you've experienced trauma. You've obviously grown from trauma here. But at the end of the day, like what I'm getting at here is once you can heal all of the reasons that you don't trust and that you don't believe, you learn it is actively a choice for me to choose to be happy and to trust. Trust does, yes, the other person in relationships can tell you all day long, you can trust me, have faith in me, this is going to work out, blah, blah, blah. But you have to choose to trust them. You can't rely on the validation of tarot readings or somebody else in order to feel like you are in a safe place to trust. You have to find that within yourself. And I feel like that's a lot of what this reading is talking about here. Yeah, because there's the Judgment in reverse. No one is ever going to make you feel as secure as you make yourself feel. And I feel like that's ultimately what that book, Insecure in Love, is talking about. This is Pisces side of this connection. The World in reverse. You have a cycle. This is a cycle. There's some forgiveness, some past forgiveness. This doesn't feel like forgiveness between this person. It could be. It could be. It could be. If you're wanting this connection to come together in a healthy way, then there could be forgiveness that's needed. But if it's not forgiveness of this person, it's forgiveness of past person, because you're bringing in resentment that you have for someone from your past into this connection and projecting your fears of it onto them. And I feel like that is something that you've possibly done before. So that's why the healing's needed. Diving into the reasons you don't trust and facing the healing of that so that you can move forward in a healthy way. And I always recommend therapy. I'll recommend that in most of my readings when it comes up, because it's funny because people think that like a spiritual teacher, spiritual advisor, that we don't need therapy because we've got the spiritual stuff figured out, but there's still the world stuff, and the therapist really helps with the world stuff because it's different. It's different, you know. And it's nice to always have and ultimately, like what I've realized is it's just nice to have someone to talk to that isn't putting the burden on my, you know, close family and friends. All right, Pisces side of this connection takes the burden off of you too. Pisces side of this connection, clarifying this 10 of Wands. I want to know, there it is. The King of Cups in reverse. You've possibly experienced some not so great treatment, either from this person or someone else. But I just don't feel like this person is vindictive necessarily. But whatever treatment you've experienced in the past, you're fearing is going to repeat itself. That's this burden you're carrying, this 10 of Wands. You fear this consistently repeating itself. The Devil with the King of Cups in reverse. That's what keeps you from being able to choose your happiness. This is happiness and this is hope. And this is what you're trying to tap into. But I also feel like this is, I mean, to be blunt, make sure you're not relying on the people in your life to make you happy. Make sure that your happiness comes from within first. That's where this nourishment card is coming out to me and saying, like, make sure that you are giving yourself the same love and attention as you are giving this connection. Because you don't want to lose yourself in needing someone else in order to be happy. Someone else can certainly amplify your happiness and bring out, you know, every single person in our life is a reflection of us. And I've really noticed this with my current relationship, that my significant other, he is a reflection of my love for myself. That's why our relationship goes so well, is because when things aren't going well, the first thing I turn to is where am I struggling with my relationship with myself? And that's always helped us get through rough patches. Now that doesn't leave him off the hook, right? Like obviously he's had things to work on, I've had things to work on, but when we're able to see it within ourselves, it helps us be able to move forward in a healthy way. All right, this is going to be the person that Pisces is connected to's energy toward Pisces. The person that Pisces is needing to learn the most from is energy toward Pisces. Is this person's energy toward Pisces, please? Let's see what we got here. This person's energy toward Pisces. You're both kind of focused on self-mastery. There it is. Interesting. So this person has situations that they're needing to heal from too. Because this is forgiveness. That same 3 of Swords in reverse. Either that or this is someone who wants your forgiveness. Yeah, this is a very mirrored connection. I feel like you don't realize that you and this person are actually dealing with similar energies when it comes to this connection. This person's energy toward Pisces, please. This person has a past they need to forgive too. They're working through their past too, because like I said, you're both kind of working on self-mastery here. There's the 5 of Wands. Oh, goodness. They literally deal with the same thing you do. Because here's the High Priestess in reverse. This person also deals with this inner conflict about this connection. And they have confidence as your key to success. That's interesting. There's the strength in reverse. So they lack confidence when it comes to these types of connections. So whatever inner conflict you're stealing, like they could also struggle with trust issues. This person's energy toward Pisces. I feel like they want to rush this connection a little bit because I feel like and I feel like you do too. Because I feel like you both kind of think when you get to a certain point that a lot of these fears will go away, but that's not the case. These fears and the things that you're dealing with are always going to be there. And that's why there's this need to get to the root of them, right? So that they don't affect, even if it's not affecting the connection to this person. It's so that they don't affect your connections in general, because trust is so important. And like, I really like the photo of this because it's almost like trust is about finding the light in the darkness. When you're uncertain, when everything is unknown, you find the light in the darkness. That's how you trust. It's not being clear and knowing. It's not certainty, right? Trust isn't about certainty. It's actually the opposite. Trust is about embracing uncertainty with trust, with faith. And I feel like that's a lot about what this reading is talking about in terms of not just the connect. Like, I feel like this has to do with connections that you have across the board, Pisces, not even to just this person. The person that Pisces is dealing with, side of the connection to Pisces. I really feel like you can trust this person. I really do. They've experienced a lot of disappointment in relationships of this type. And so they might come off as a little bit defensive. But I don't feel like that has anything to do with you. And if they don't come off as defensive, then they are having to work like overtime to break down their walls for you because they want to. Like, I don't feel like it's like rough or hard for them or anything. This person's energy, because they're working on their self-mastery too, like not just in relationships. This person's energy toward Pisces. Ooh, they struggle with some inner child stuff. Their conflict might not come from past relationships of this type. Their inner child, or their conflict might come. Oh my goodness, their inner conflict might come with from inner child wounds, familial situations, or something. Because I feel like I want clarity. Clarity on this page of Wands in reverse, please. Clarity on the page of Wands in reverse. They might deal with some sort of abandonment trauma. And like just ultimate overall like deception when it comes to relationships. So that might be something like they've had someone walk away from them. So they struggle with trust issues too. So you guys are kind of in the same boat. That's why like you can't lean on this person so much to make you feel confident in this connection. You've got to be able to lean on yourself too. It's got to come from both. Now this person I feel like would be more than happy to do whatever they can to make you feel safe, but I also feel like they also need to feel safe too. So this is kind of a both sides here kind of situation. Like this is a very mirrored connection. This person's energy toward Pisces, and honestly, ooh. You feel they've been taken for granted. Clarifying the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, not necessarily by you. Oof. That's where their lack of confidence. Oh, I just saw the Strength card in reverse pop out. That's where their lack of confidence comes from. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So they've experienced, I mean, because this is a Tower moment from their past. Okay. What is this Ten of Pentacles in reverse saying? Because this is like a taking something for granted. And I don't feel like it's you. I don't feel like it's you that they take for granted. Clarifying the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, this person might have a tendency to withdraw because they've experienced a lot of being taken for granted in their relationships. And I feel like that keeps them like, that's why they want this, like, to rush in here. Is because they think if you guys get to a certain point, then they're going to feel better about the connection. And it's not that it's not your fault that they feel a certain way. I just feel like you guys are both, you know, having a little bit of a tendency to bring past stuff into the current connection. Because I feel like this connection, not only should you use your growth to help tap into some trust here, but I also feel like there's a need to allow this connection to help you grow as well. All right, in between this connection, you have nothing is yet set in stone with the Boat card. We are going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to pull 9 different messages for this in between the connection, and then an advice card for you specifically, Pisces, at the end, or for whoever's resonating with the energy over here. Thank you guys so much, as always, for the support of my channel. It means the absolute world to me, and I wish you absolutely nothing but love and healing on your journeys. All right, bye, Pisces.